Hey folks, I'm Milotash. Today I welcome you to a new segment on my channel called Breakaways. This is a space that features small-scale brands, crafters, and artisans that are doing things a little differently and building gear in ways that big brands just can't. Let's get into it. Cooking on cast iron feels like something I've put up on a pedestal and have admired from afar during my adult life. It's the cooking pan of rough and tough cowboys and the preferred tool of brilliant, all-knowing grandmother chefs. I've experienced cast iron cooking through others and have loved the flavors and traditions that come along with the nature of its design, but have never taken the time to personally dive all into cast iron cooking life. I recently acquired a small cast iron pan with all the training wheels built in. It's been hand-milled to a perfectly flat surface and seasoned by my father, all for my non-stick cooking dreams to be fulfilled. I've since then slowly begun to dip my toe in the pond of cast iron cooking and found that the water's actually quite warm. But I also found in my very early stages the desire for a more specialized cooking tool for this little pan. When I set out to cook my first burger in the pan, I was left wanting for that perfect partner that would allow me the freedom to move effectively in the pan and control the food with flexibility and stability when I needed it, and simplicity as to not overcomplicate the directness and application that is this cooking pan. Plastic spatulas worked well until faced with the task of scraping the bottom of the pan come cleanup time. All my plastic spatulas lacked the sharpness needed to get the remaining food off the surface for a solid clean, and many of my plastic backpacking spatulas also failed when put up against consistent heat, which is a beautiful attribute of this pan. I switched to wood, which excelled in the stability trait I was seeking, but failed in flexibility, which is needed when navigating the perimeters of this little cooking surface. I'm going to take a moment to say here that I am picky. I know it, and yes, a person could easily use a plastic spatula or a wood cooking utensil to make cooking happen in cast iron. My brain chews on finding the best gear, tools, and equipment for specialized tasks, and I rarely find a Swiss Army knife piece of equipment that fits all situations. What's cool is this often leads me to connect with unique crafters making neat things, and JP from Pierre Built is just that. Pierre Built is currently a one-person outfit out of Three Lakes, Wisconsin that specializes in titanium tools. The owner and operator of Pierre Built, JP, is a skilled welder and machinist whose love of the outdoors and gear to help you play in it draw inspiration from old-school American tooling. You'll find JP's Etsy shop filled with a wide array of titanium gear ranging from titanium shovels to fire poker blow tubes, and one of the more popular items that drew me to review Pierre Built gear are the spatulas. Let's take a peek. For these little flippers, the titanium spatula head is welded to a titanium wire handle, and I've been testing both sizes for a few weeks. I've been cooking eggs, hamburgers, bacon, veggies, and paleo pancakes with these spatulas, and I've used them at home on the range and outside on little outdoor excursions on portable stoves and open fires. The spatula head is 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and Pierre Built makes them in 4-inch long handles and 6-inch long handles. The 4-incher is ideal for your backpacking or bushcrafting kits. A person could easily be duped by the simplicity of this tool and overlook it. The build is very straightforward. It's apparent that it's handmade, and you can see the visible signs that someone, a real person, made this spatula. It wasn't until I finally cooked with it that it finally clicked. Sometimes simplicity is king, and these spatulas really, truly excel in this and in their purpose. When holding the spatula, I found that my finger and thumb found their home naturally on the sides or in the center of the handle. I have smaller hands, and my thumb didn't fall through the 2 wires that make up the handle, and never felt like I had too little of a grasp either. That being said, the spatula is solid titanium, which means it feels light as a feather. It's wild to hold something this lightweight and command it around your pan. I had only known titanium's strongest quality to be its weight and how light it can be, which threw me for a loop considering I would typically only use this material on stainless steel or cast iron in order to avoid scratching any non-stick cooking surfaces. All my non-stick pans are ultra lightweight. With stainless steel or cast iron comes heaviness. I was confused at first on the appeal of coupling a heavy cooking pan with an ultra lightweight cooking spatula. Hey, if you're digging this video, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe. This actually makes a difference. It tells YouTube what you're watching is worth their attention, and it helps me continue to make stuff like this for you. So, thank you. Let's get back to the video. I figured that my 6-inch cast iron pan would only be joining me on small outdoor bushcrafting adventures by the river or car camping trips, but no backpacking trips since it was heavy. In those scenarios, I didn't really need to worry much about weight or the ounces I'd be cutting by swapping my normal kitchen spatula for a spatula weighing 0.59 ounces like this one. But what I realized is that the weight of the material of this spatula is not the star attribute. It's more of an added bonus. Where it really shines is its strength. Titanium is incredibly strong yet flexible and is softer than steel, making it an ideal material for cast iron and carbon steel pans. I can bend and flex the edges to meet the curves of the pan, but it also holds up to the weight of a hefty hamburger patty. Titanium is low in heat conductivity, non-magnetic, and virtually impervious to rust and corrosion. This means that it'll last forever and you're damn sure not going to mess it up. I came from a family that sharpens their own shovels. This spatula feels like you didn't just pick it up fresh from a hardware store, all blunted and unable to cut into the earth effectively. This bad boy is pre-sharpened, but not so sharp that it would cut you, but also sharp enough that it'll divvy up whatever's in your pan with ease, and then easily flip all the halves you just made. It also slips under your sizzling egg or piece of ham, no problem. A brilliant and simple design feature is the welding placement where the handle attaches to the spatula head, which are actually in slightly different places from one another. This is purposeful and adds flex and strength to the spatula. I love that this spatula doesn't have a bunch of bells and whistles to distract you. No, it doesn't fold in half, or have a lanyard, or a built-in flashlight, or a can opener, but it's easy to clean on the trail. It's so strong and light you won't know you have it in your backpack, but you'll be thankful that you did bring it come dinner time. I found myself enjoying the 6-inch spatula length more than the 4-inch, which I was surprised about. I naturally gravitate towards smaller things, and I figured that the 4-inch would have less footprint in my bag, but the 6-inch, for some reason, felt like I had more control. I also dig that I didn't have to get so close to the fire when I was open flame cooking. A very minor thing, I did wish that the handle had some form of curve to it somewhere, either at the tip or in the middle to better grab it off flat surfaces. When I would set it down on a table or a countertop, I couldn't get a hold of it easily without sliding or pinching it between my fingertips to grab the wire of the handle. Less of a complaint, more of a thought for future mods. After testing these spatulas, I messaged with the creator JP about what sets Pierre Built products apart. JP shared that someday I envision the offspring of my customers wondering where they procured such a product in a time of throwaway gear. Sadly, there's a lot of dispensable gear that's made these days from cheap materials in bulk and won't make it to the end of our lifetimes, and probably not even until next camping season. I personally believe that Pierre Built goods can be that timeless piece in your collection, and that these spatulas can be that friend for life in the kitchen or fireside. As always, I'm Milotash. Thanks for watching.